Welcome one, welcome all. I am Goose the Grey here again with another solo cast of Challenger level solo queue. I am here now today. It's pretty late at my place already, so excuse me if I do sound a little bit tired, but I just couldn't leave to bed without at least casting a little bit. I've been out the past couple days. It's also why there haven't been any new casts for me, but I was busy, and I'd just feel so lazy if I didn't do anything now to finish off this day. So here I am, spectating off of one of my challenger friends, and we are into the game. Everybody moving out onto the rift. However, the blue team pretty slow there on buying items. I may actually open them up to a quick invade from the red team, but it does look like they're just going to back off as well. And we are now just looking at both of the teams with pretty standard defensive setups. Jarvan up there looking at his red buff, LeBlanc and the rest of the red team down around the area of the blue buff. Of course, Gragas and Thresh are only just moving out. A little bit late to make anything happen anyway. It would have been a nice moment for the red team to have a level 1 engagement, but of course it would have been very risky. And with a reduced amount of vision in the first 90 seconds of the game, there really hasn't been that much aggression. Even though I expected a high level of play, we will see some teams trying to exploit that with everyone picking up the trinkets and saying, hey, we have free wards anyway. Few players start with early wards anymore. In this case, we do have a Janna starting with one, but Thresh, for example, doesn't. And that generally opens up the path to a lot of early aggression. Of course, it's risky. And if you want a ward, you have to give up your additional items. But it's something that I expect pro teams to do more commonly now. One thing that's interesting is looking at this Renekton, he's actually gone for the Runic Affinity Mastery, which gives you that 50 HP shield, but only every time you respawn, so I'm not quite sure if that's really worth it. I personally very much dislike it, but he apparently thinks he needs it, and he probably knows better than I do. But what I think is really cool is that Warwick instantly went with the Sweeper Trinket, and we'll be looking at that to see how many wards he does pick up, how well it does work out for him. As now we are into the lanes. Both of the junglers have started on the bottom half of the map. Kayle, however, also cleared her wraiths, and it does look like LeBlanc going in for a lot of early on aggression. Already had that level 2, Gragas still level 1, and now Jarvan warded up that blue buff off Kayle, and he does have a smite up, so we may see an early steal as a nice flay lands in the bot lane. Nif, of course, support for SK, not the shabbiest of ones, and now we have Jarvan actually coming around for an invade. And as low as Gragas is, Gragas will not be able to help out. Kayle has her smite as well. She does smite it away and flash over the wall. Nicely done. And now Nif in the bottom lane going very low, has to flash away. Ezreal flashing after him, does get the first blood. Nice ignite out of Janna as well. That was just overcommitment from Nif. I don't know what he was doing. Thought he had the early advantage, but in the end he flashed, and Ezreal at least had to expend his flash as well. Not worth it. Kill in the bottom lane, going over to the red team here early on in the game. Warwick, meanwhile, has become an increasingly popular pick for that top lane. Of course, towards the late game, he gets very, very powerful, and he does have a nice amount of sustain in the lane as well. However, right now, he does get bullied around a bit by Renekton, who is, of course, still one of the tankiest and scariest early game top laners. Excuse me. But, we'll be keeping an eye on that matchup as the game keeps going. However, Jarvan, with that invade, of course, sacrificed a lot of his time. Only has 5 CS to the 18 of Kayle, and she did steal away his blue buff in the end. So she doesn't... Oh no, wait, she smited hers, and he just picked up his. So he wasted a bunch of time with that, but got the flash. But here's the engage onto the tower. Renekton slicing in and out, has that ignite, still down on Warwick, and he does not go down. Barely survives it with less than 40 HP, and Renekton survives it as well. But here's Kayle coming in, and that's a flash out of... Warwick. And in the end, he does still go down to Renekton. Kayle wasn't quite quick enough, didn't have that flash for herself, of course. And that actually means that it's a kill traded in that top lane. That was very bold out of Warwick, flashing in and using his Q to try and sustain, but the death sentence lands in the bot lane. The Flay comes out as well, but she does not actually get knocked back anywhere. It's a common bug with Flay, and has been for a while. If she's on top of where you stand and you use Flay, it's not going to do anything much. Now we do have the bot lane returning to regular farming, but a nice Flay saves him from the knockup, and there's Jarvan picking up the kill in the end. A nice tornado out of Janna does manage to keep Thresh in place long enough. He has no way to escape that. Had already used his flash earlier, of course. That's another kill for the red team. 3-1 now. Oh, and Gragas in the mid lane going very, very low. Under his tower, the Ignite's still ticking away on him. It is not going to be enough. He's going to survive just barely. How much HP does he have? 20. This blue team, there have already been 3 kills for the red team. But, in all seriousness, Gragas should have died there. Like, that was not even funny. Earlier, there were blinking health bars several times as well. And the blue team just not having the best of times right now. Warwick getting bullied out of the lane again by this Renekton, who picked up a Dorn's Blade and a Longsword on his last back. Of course, he did get the 300 gold onto Warwick. Warwick only getting the assist, only got 150 out of that kill trade. Was only able to pick up 1 Dorn's Blade, and right now he can't even go to the minions, and that Call the Meek will pick him up. Nicely done by Renekton. Picking up a 2nd kill for himself here, and he's already doubled the CS count of Warwick, of course, in that top lane. LeBlanc out CSing Gragas in the mid lane as well, and Ezreal having a nice 12 CS lead over Caitlyn. This is currently looking very bleak for the blue team. That's a BF sword now on Caitlyn, but here comes Kayle trying to make things right. She's the only one that's ahead. It's 36 CS to the 17 out of Jarvan, but it does not look like they're going to be able... Oh, the flash with the body slam actually getting onto LeBlanc, and here they do chase the right one. The Ignite goes down. Is that going to be a kill? One more barrel. She does go around the corner, but the Ignite alone is enough to pick that up. But meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Jarvan and Renekton trying to go for the dive. How long is Warwick going to be able to survive this? There's the ultimate out of Renekton. He is already level 6, and he's tanking the tower. So Jarvan's not taking any damage, but Kayle's coming around as well. Renekton taking a lot of tower damage now, and Warwick's still alive. There's the intervention, and the turret actually picks up the kill onto Renekton. That's really unfortunate. Now, can they get onto Jarvan? Kayle is here, so is Gragas. There's a flag and drag. Oh, the flash fails. He doesn't get over the wall, and this is probably going to spell death. He failed his flag and drag. He used his flash, body slam, and an auto attack coming out of Gragas finishes that kill up for him. And it actually puts it at 3-4 in kills and a 900 gold lead only for the red team. It was a lot worse just a second ago, but that was really a failed tower dive. They thought they could exploit that level 6 advantage that Renekton had, but then he just took too much tower damage. Got taken out by the tower at least. Also, it would be 4-4 with a lot of extra gold to the blue team, but as it stands, Warwick was able to survive. And Jarvan went down to Gragas. Gragas, of course, going to love that. Is now 2-0-0, and that manages to kind of balance that early CS deficit he has in the mid lane. Going for that early Athene's Unholy Grail after the double Doran's Ring. First looking to get a little bit of HP, and now he's just trying to measure up to the enemy LeBlanc. Farming away in that mid lane, but the chains land again. That's a lot of extra damage on him. He's going pretty low again. We'll have to recall, but of course he does have a lot of extra gold. Oh, the Lantern trying to save Caitlyn. A beautiful flay after that, and the berry came out as well. That's Caitlyn still surviving for now. The death sentence misses though, but here's Kayle trying to make the kill happen. The ward goes down, and that's going to be a dead Ezreal. Oh, that flay saving Caitlyn actually. I think it was definitely saving. The flash still expended by Janna as well. So Nif picked up that kill, but that was really daring from Caitlyn to walk that close again with Ezreal still alive. He made the call to try and kill her. He did still have his barrier. With that, he might have been able to do it. As in the end, he went down, and this could be the blue team trying to do Dragon. They have 3 members around there, Gragas as well, and LeBlanc, Ezreal, and Janna were just back, and Ezreal doesn't have his True Shot Barrage yet either, so he can't even attempt to steal that, and this should be an uncontested Dragon for the blue team. They've gone pretty low here, but there's a smite that pulled over Peacemaker. Nicely done. That actually pulls the gold lead back to even 4-4 between the two teams, and of course that farm difference for now being balanced out by that early Dragon from the blue team. Back to farming we go, and we do see the blue team's blue buff being stolen away. Here goes Renekton under the tower. Warwick solo, can't do anything, just goes down without a fight. Had nothing to say in that matter. Didn't use his ultimate either. There's really nothing he could do. He just gave up his life. That Ignite was still ticking on him. So he goes down. The blue buff, of course, from the blue team was stolen away. And now we have the first items coming out. Caitlyn not able to measure up to that BF sword out of Ezreal. And Kayle really so far the one to make things happen on the map for the blue team. 1-0-3 has been involved in all 4 of their kills as Jarvan is in the mid lane. Nice explosive cast though to knock them away, and now he's caught in the Cataclysm. Uses his body slam to get out. Gragas going to be safe. Of course got a lot of mobility, a lot of escapes. So it's really cool. LeBlanc went for that Fiendish Codex, looking for the early cooldown reduction. trying to be able to assassinate someone as many times as possible. But here goes Kale. Nice intervention. Denies the burst and a nice flash out of LeBlanc. Actually gets her out of the danger zone. Prevents that blue buff from going over to the blue team. But that was a flash used, at least, in exchange for the intervention. Don't think the blue team is unhappy with that. That's a long cooldown used right there. And Jarvan's looking for more aggression in the mid lane. And the spectator won't go there. Here we go. And that's Gragas going pretty low right now. The ignite is down as well. He's probably going to go down. Definitely going to go down. Jarvan picking that one up now in the top lane. We have the dive coming out onto Renekton. He's under his tower. One more hit will be enough. There they go. Can Warwick get out of that tower now? Meanwhile, we have the Monsoon being used in bottom lane. Sorry. Ezreal getting healed up a nice amount by that, saving his life. He did have the ignite taking on him as well. Now we see Jarvan coming up to the top lane, but Warwick was able to recall out of there, and now it's Kale against Jarvan. She's getting pretty low on mana, but she made him eat a bunch of tower damage. This is pretty dangerous now for the red team, but Kale's still very low on mana. Is she going to be able to survive this? It does look like the red team does decide to back off. Nicely played there. Kale really being the driving force at this point. 1-0-4 out of the 5 kills. She's been on every single one, and she's still got more CS than Jarvan as well. She's trying to help out her team. The question is, can she do it long enough for them to actually win this? Because right now, it's a 1,400 gold lead for the red team. After the blue team had just closed that gold lead by picking up Dragon, it has now grown to 1,400 again. And we're still very early into the game, only 11.5 minutes in. Anything can still happen, but it's not looking too great right now. Ezreal, of course, with that BF sword, doing a lot more damage than Caitlyn at this point. And it's really showing in the CS difference as well, 25 in their favor. And here goes Thresh with that box. Gragas, of course, coming in. Nice body slam. There's a barrel, and that's going to be a kill for the blue team. Gragas picking that one up. He's going to love this. 3-1-0 now. Caitlyn with a nice escape off that 90 caliber net. Trying to get out from the gank. Did have the lantern there as well. Gragas now having to move over to the mid lane again, though, unless he wants to get a bunch of tower damage. On the other hand, LeBlanc, not the best tower pusher. She does have nice wave clear if you do max that W, but it's not enough to take down towers quickly. She just got the wave to the tower, but Jarvan finds Gragas in the jungle. Does only do a little bit of damage and does decide to back off again. Both of these junglers having gone with the aggressive builds. Spit of the Elder Lizard on Jarvan and Spirit of the Spectral Wraith on Kale. And there's a ward actually spotting out Jarvan, who was killing that pink ward. And here now, with Caitlyn picking up the lantern and Jarvan stepping right onto a trap. Nothing more gonna happen there. Actually, he goes back in with the Cataclysm, but a nice 90 caliber net gets her right out of that, and now he's going very low. There's the flash, and that's a kill for Konzi Senpai. Caitlyn picking that one up. Nicely done, using her flash to get in range for that last auto attack, and here's Kale, and Thresh and Caitlyn going very far. There's very low mana on Thresh as well. I'm not sure he has enough for a death sentence, where he wants to make sure he can hit it. But in the mid lane, we have the ignite and everything going down onto LeBlanc. Gragas with the advantage here, does pick up the kill. Nicely done. Bottom lane, everyone was able to get out, but now the blue team has a nice chance to push down onto that tower. Or they just recall, because in 1.5 minutes, Dragon is back up, and they want to be healthy and be able to use all their strength, all their items, to win out in that fight. 4-1-0 Gragas at this point. 76 CS. He's really powerful, and he'll just keep getting stronger. Gragas right now, such a scary mid laner. He's really powerful, so he's gonna love all that gold. We'll see what he picks up next. He has 3 Dorn's rings at this point, and that Chalice of Harmony. He's gonna finish up that Athene's Unholy Grail just now and add another ward on top of that. There's a lot of magic resistant mana regeneration now, and Dragon's back up in 45 seconds as the top outer goes down for the red team. They'll have a nice amount of map pressure and vision advantage with that. Warwick, of course, going to be forced to stay up there and clear that for a bit. He's only just gotten there now. Kale looking to get a catch onto Renekton. He does find her in the bush. She's taking a lot of damage very quickly. There's the ultimate out of Renekton. Here's the ultimate out of Warwick, and Kale's actually forced to flash away. Slice and dice after her. Will Renekton be able to pick up the kill? Only one more. There she goes. Kale going down, and now Warwick in all sorts of trouble. Not able to get away from this. Is he? He's going under this tower, but both Jarvan and Renekton are very tanky. There's the Cataclysm under the tower. Jarvan with his flag and drag gets himself out, but there's a Gragas that wants that kill. The barrel actually missing. The explosive cast comes out. That picks up the kill. But now it is still a 2-for-1 exchange, and Gragas on the run from LeBlanc. She's very out of mana, though. She has to be careful. Nice attempt by Gragas to turn that around. If that combo had landed, that would have been a lot of damage. The red team backing out. Nice death sentence onto Janna. Are they going to be able to make it happen? The flay into the box lands as well, and she's going super low. That ignite still ticking, picks up the kill. Nicely done, Nif. You've just made it happen again. The true shot barrage still hitting through that 90 caliber net, but Ezreal going solo, ate that pult over Peacemaker as well, and that ace in the hole is going to finish him off. Nicely done as the blue buff gets taken away by Renekton. Is Kayle going to be able to stop and pick up the kill on the backside of this? There's LeBlanc still very low on mana. The blue buff does go over to Kayle. Nicely done. 12-8 now in kills. The red team being a little overconfident and they're going to take down this bottom outer as well, making it 1-1 in towers and equalizing that gold advantage, actually turning it into their favor by about 300 to 400. Golden Dragon is up right now. That's surely going to be the next objective for both of these teams. Ezreal having that Bloodthirster down, looking for the Phage as soon as possible. Already got the Ruby Crystal and the Longsword. Will be able to out-battle Caitlyn right now, who doesn't even have the Bloodthirster. He's still 20 CS ahead, which is nice, but she just picked up another kill and an assist, so she's going to have a nice chunk of extra gold right now. As there are warding battles, and now Kayle actually finds Jarvan in the jungle. Thresh and Caitlyn trying to take that enemy blue buff away. Are they going to be able to? There's Thresh trying to do something to Jarvan over the wall. The Smite Ward comes out, and Kayle actually misses hers, giving that blue buff over to Jarvan. Thresh with that intervention on himself, flashed out of that up, but that was a beautiful pickup by LeBlanc. Nicely done, getting Thresh on his way out of there. And now with a 4v5, or rather a 3v4 disadvantage, Caitlyn goes down to Ezreal, who went over the wall with his Arcane Shift. Nice catch there. Caitlyn really having no way of fighting that afterwards. Had already expended all her summoners earlier, and this could be a nice pickup for the red team, getting a free dragon attempt. Renekton keeps pushing the top lane, trying to get as much damage onto that outer tower as possible. They lose their middle outer. I think that's a trade the red team will take at this point. They're saying we have more tower pressure towards the next couple of minutes. They will try to focus down that middle outer from the blue team, probably. So blue team rushes to defend that top lane, prevent too much damage from coming to it. And of course that makes it now 2-1 in towers. The blue team making the call there to trade towers. And they can do so. They can afford to. Right now anyway. Warwick getting pretty tanky. They're going for the full armor build. That means he'll still get shredded quite a bit by LeBlanc. But he'll be able to survive quite a chunk of Renekton's damage, of Jarvan's damage, of Ezreal's damage. That's really what he's looking for at this point. If we take another look across the items, as I already mentioned, both the AD carries have their Bloodthirsters completed now. Kayle already has that Nashor's Tooth completed. That's really one of the core items if you want to play that hybrid Kayle, because there's so much ability, power, attack, speed, cooldown reduction. It's basically an item that is tailored for use on Kayle, as Gragas now under his tower takes a lot of damage. Nice explosive cast to keep himself safe. Stumbling over words here, I'm sorry. It's Janna with a Talisman of Ascension and the Athene's Unholy Grail already picked up, really looking to protect her team. Now, Renekton in the middle lane did get flayed, but the death sentence didn't quite land. Caitlyn in the bottom lane is alone, though, with Nif hanging around mid. She has to be careful not to get picked up. Ezreal, Janna, rather a defensive combination, but they can still pick up kills if you're not careful. And that tower is going to take a lot of damage right now. Jarvan making his way down there as well, and I'm not sure if Thresh is really in time to help Caitlyn save it. Warden Trabish goes down as well, and here's Jarvan now, almost getting the knock up onto Nif. He does get knocked up by the Tornado. That's a lot of damage onto him. The Cataclysm coming out as well. Thresh going down. Caitlyn only focusing on Ezreal and does get him quite low as well, but the rest of the team is just not there. Warwick and Kayle pushing down onto the top lane, taking out the first tower. Renekton's behind them. LeBlanc is coming in as well. They have to make something happen here. They cannot afford to get picked off like this. Kayle going solo so quickly, and here's LeBlanc now. Nice ultimate by Warwick onto LeBlanc, keeping her out of that. But maybe if he had gone onto Renekton, they would have at least traded kills. But right now, they took out Kayle, and the blue team really without an answer on that one. Gragas at least shoved the mid lane, so they're getting damage on that inner tower. So Caitlyn now with a nice combo, gets herself to safety underneath her tower. The True Shot Barrage not going to land, and that keeps her safe. Gragas now from the backside. There's an ace in the hole doing a nice amount of damage to Janna. But here's Ezreal now on the outside with that barrier, keeping himself alive nicely, and that Ignite going to take down Caitlyn. Beautiful trade there from the red team. They've really played that one well. Gragas now looking for the kill. Here's Thresh, and that's going to mean Janna's going to die. Sorry, buddy, but there's nowhere for you to go, and you're just going to go down. There's a body slam. That's a kill. That's now a 6-1-1 Gragas with those Sorcerer's Penetration Boots. He's getting really scary. And I don't quite know why LeBlanc is building the way she's building. It's a Morellonomicon, which is good against Warwick, admittedly. But it's just... I don't think it's the best item she could be picking up here. Deathfire Grasp, generally the way to go. On a burst of LeBlanc, you're just looking to assassinate the squishy targets. And really... Morellonomicon is good, but it won't help you do just that. And the Spirit Visage, of course, also quite nice, but Renekton with this relentless pressure in the top lane, 5-4-1. That Ravenous Hydra doing so much work for him. Oh, a kill? Nope, not a kill. That was only the clone. Warwick using his ultimate on the wrong person there. And Kayle now coming around with Warwick. They're looking for the kill, but there's Jarvan as well, getting the knock-up onto Kayle, and she's just been going so deep onto Renekton, and this never worked out. Renekton always taking her out in every one of those ganks. It's just not what the blue team wants to do anymore. Gragas trying to make his way out of there, but there's a Cataclysm. Nice flash. There's a Lantern as well. He does take it. Now LeBlanc coming for him. Nice flay out of Thresh. Beautiful death sentence, and he might be able to force LeBlanc dead. Nice flash there, and now Jarvan actually flashing over the wall, hoping that Gragas was there, but he wasn't, and now Caitlyn gets a lot of free damage onto him. Here's Renekton, possibly going down to Warwick. Warwick with that movement speed boost, so very fast. The dominance has now run out. Stun comes out onto Warwick, and now Janna and Ezreal are there to try and help. Eye of the Storm comes out, and that's going to be safe. Renekton able to walk away, and meanwhile the bottom tower goes down as well, so that puts it at 3-3 in towers. Only the mid lane still intact for the blue team. 15-4 in kills, and actually a 3,400 gold advantage in favor of the red team. Ezreal's getting pretty close to that Trinity Force, and that's really when he'll become a terror as well. Right now he's already pretty strong. Kayle, of course, building up her burst, almost has that sheen done, and really once she has a Lich Bane, that's when she becomes strong. But blue team with a very bold call here, going for a 3-man Baron, and it's something you can sometimes do when you have a Warwick, just because he has a nice amount of sustain. Now Gragas is almost there. It's a 4-man Baron at this point, but the red team has no clue this is going on. Renekton just farming the golems, and this is a beautiful play by the blue team, trying to get themselves back into this game. And it's worked out. It's paid off. The Gambit really making things happen for them, shortening that gold lead now to 2,000. And of course they have that added regen, that extra experience, and that extra power on themselves for a while now. Caitlyn able to pick up the Static Shiv with that bonus. That's going to be pretty nice for her. There's a needlessly large rod on Gragas. That Frozen Heart on Warwick. They're getting their items. They're finally getting there. I mean, Renekton still has 2 items to Warwick's 1. Of course, he is 85 CS up on his lane opponent. That's a huge amount. Ezreal had already also completed that Trinity Force. He's 3-3-3 with 176, 50 CS up on his lane opponent. The red team just farming better than the blue team. Kill difference is, however, favoring the blue team at this point, and Dragon is back up. Blue team does still have Baron. They could view that as one of the objectives that they can pick up with this extra pressure, but Warwick has just recalled. Is this going to be the time that the blue team is able to make it happen? The red team making the call to push down onto that middle lane. The blue team has to rotate over there to defend it. Can't pick up Dragon just yet, because as soon as they do, they're going to lose mid, and that's a nice burst out of LeBlanc, taking half the HP off of Kayle. And the Talisman of Ascension used by Thresh. They're trying to get onto her, but a nice whirlwind out of Janna saved LeBlanc's life, and now Jarvan actually on that Dragon, trying to do it by himself, has got it very low, and the red team is going to say thank you very much. We're going to take this and maybe take you out on the way. That was a nice true shot barrage attempt, but it didn't quite hit anyone, and after that Jarvan just went down. He was a little too bold with that call. That didn't quite work out for him. Don't know why he attempted to do this, but this is going to open up the route down the mid lane for the blue team, and LeBlanc going off to the top, not even trying to defend this. She's saying there's a big minion wave there, we have to do something about that, and Warwick actually standing under the tower, tanking that up. The suppression goes down onto Ezreal, and beautiful burst combo of that explosive cast plus that Q out of Kayle, really making things happen, and that was a kill onto Ezreal as well. Now they're on the inhibitor tower, taking it down so quickly. Inhibitor tower goes down. Is this going to be the inhibitor for the blue team? Death sentence misses onto Renekton, but this is going to be an inhib. That's huge for them. They were just 4,000 gold down. Now they're 17-4 in kills up, and actually have got 1,000 gold in their favor. They're 5-3. They've got an inhibitor down. They've got so much added map pressure right now that really the next couple of minutes are theirs. And that was a beautiful maneuver just overall picking up Baron at the exact right time, then rotating over to Dragon, and after that, going down the mid lane and barreling, pushing their way through the enemy lines and forcing their advantage. And I'm saying making things happen too often, I know, but it's really what they've been doing. And now Jarvan and Ezreal looking to make the kills happen in the bot lane. Nice barrel though out of Gragas, and that's a huge amount of damage onto Jarvan. Jarvan goes down, and Gragas, I do believe, managed to dodge that. Oh, that's the nice shutdown onto Gragas, but here comes Thresh picking up the kill onto Ezreal. Nicely done. LeBlanc looking for the kill on the return. What I wanted to say was Gragas, I think, even dodged the True Shot Barrage. That's what it's called. And that really made him survive that long, and he did go back onto Ezreal, doing enough damage for Thresh to be able to finish him off. In the end, the flash and barrier had already been used, so no way for Ezreal to get out of there. Does go down, but he picked up 500 gold for himself. He's going to love that quite a bit. Now the blue team taking away the enemy's red buff and shoving down this top lane. Warwick has already gotten the lane close, and Kayle, of course, very nice, very good at wave clearing with that splash damage, and she does have the Lich Bane completed as well. That's now a pretty scary Kayle, and they're pushing down onto this top inner, taking it down very quickly. It's already down to about a 10th. It's down, and here comes Renekton though. The intervention went down onto Kayle. Kayle trying to get out of there. Nice use of the lantern, but now Warwick's in all sort of trouble. There's a Talisman of Ascension getting onto everyone, and this may enable Warwick to just get out of there. Nice flash away from that flag and drag combo, avoiding the knockup. That's a failed engage by the red team. They tried. They really did. That was the Ignite and Dominance used out of Renekton. They did everything they could, but it wasn't meant to be. The blue team with a nice move of disengagement there. Nice lanterns out of Thresh. Nice movement speed from everyone that Talisman of Ascension used to perfection. It's a blue team getting away with a lot here on this map right now. Janna picking up. And Mikhail's Crucible as well. It's gonna be crucial. Sorry. Now, you see, I tried to make a somewhat pun and then just got myself caught up in it. I should stop doing that. I'm too tired for this. Anyway, what I wanted to say is Mikhail's Crucible will be crucial in the next couple of team fights for getting certain things off of your carries. It's able to clear off the suppression from Warwick. It's able to clear you off the death sentence snare. It's able to clear you off the slow of the box walls. So it's really a nice tool to have against this blue team. It'll all come down to, can Janna use it at just the right moment? She's already one of the strongest peeling supports in the game, and then she adds that Talisman of Ascension and the Mikhail's Crucible on top of that. It's a really powerful combo. Gragas clearing out the wave in the bottom lane. Of course, Baron is back up in just over 1.5 minutes. Renekton here trying to catch onto Thresh, but this would be a bad time for the blue team to fight. I don't know why they're being that forward. They're in a 4v5 situation with Gragas not even being close. He's finally made his way up here. He's got his death cap and another blasting wand, and here now goes the blue team. Now they're 5. The flake comes out, but that's only Renekton. Is that really the target you want to go for? The box came out. Renekton popping 2 of those walls, and here comes Jarvan with that Cataclysm. Nice explosive cast, but that's already 2 kills over to the red team, only 1 to the blue. Nice Monsoon as well, keeping people safe for a while, and that's another 2 kills traded back and forth. It's currently a 2-for-3 trade. Ezreal picking 1 more up, and Warwick in all sorts of trouble. Does still take out LeBlanc. Is he going to be able to get away? No, the slow comes out of Janna. That's him probably going to go down. Ezreal picking that one up, and that's a 5-for-3 exchange in favor of the red team. Beautiful fight there. They really got the targets they wanted to. LeBlanc has finished that Deathfire Grasp at this point, and Ezreal making nice work there. He's got a nice chunk of damage at this point, and he really made it count with his mobility, picking up several kills for himself there. 6-5-6 right now. Renekton 6-5-5, and then that's a 4-for-4 LeBlanc. Red team has just got a couple of pretty fed members on their team right now, and they're pushing down this mid lane. Got that middle inner. But the blue team now, with everyone respawning, can go for a very quick Baron. It's going to respawn in just 6 seconds. And even though they don't have the enemy's middle inhibitor down anymore, they can just force this. They can just rush down there. Janna luckily just warded it. So the red team will have some sort of vision on it. But this could be pretty dangerous. Ezreal's still on base. Jarvan just now moving out. Janna thought about recalling, but she can't really afford to right now, because if she's gone, that would give the 5v4 advantage over to the blue team. However, Gragas was also in the bottom lane, so it's not going to happen just yet. That sweeper being used, and Thresh getting himself completely caught. Nif, what are you doing? Throws that lantern on himself, tries to keep himself alive as long as possible, but he doesn't have flash. not going to be able to get out of there now. The Talisman of Ascension on the red team. They're trying to catch onto Warwick. Nice slow out of Jenna, and that's the knock-up. Not quite landing. The next whirlwind lands, though, and that's Warwick. Probably going to go down in just a second. The intervention on Gragas saves him long enough for him to be able to get out for the time being. But here's another flag and drag. Nice flash out of Gragas. Keeps himself safe for the time being. Oh, the True Shot Barrage just barely not able to pick him up. He survives with about 150 HP. But this is now the red team going for that Baron very, very quickly. Caitlyn is in the mid lane. She'll try to get that inhibitor down. But is it going to be enough? Right now, the red team has a huge advantage. They've had two very nice fights back to back and are going to be able to pick up the Baron completely uncontested. They've sent LeBlanc back. Is LeBlanc going to be able to save this? Caitlyn, of course, doing a nice amount of damage, but here's LeBlanc jumping in. That Deathfire Grasp combo very, very quickly eradicates Caitlyn. How low did she even get the inhibitor? About 2/3 of the way down. That's not nearly enough. And a Baron for a Dragon trade is not what the blue team was looking for. They're now 2,700 gold behind, and they're actually a tower up. But that doesn't matter as much when you're about to get taken out. Nif getting himself caught again. He still doesn't have his flash. The Talisman of Ascension used to keep himself safe for as long as possible is enough to escape for the time being. There are more members of the red team around, and they do use their Talisman as well. Going down to the bot lane, clearing that wave out, and they're going to be able to keep pushing now, really, with that Baron on them, and so many advantages gained. They've got the big items they were looking for. Randuin's Omen on Renekton, combined with that Ravenous Hide, with Sunfire Cape on Jarvan, doing a lot of damage to everyone, and of course 2 Hex Drinkers on each of them, or 1 Hex Drinker on each of them. Then there's a Deathfire Grasp, plus a Morellonomicon, plus another Blasting Wand. Do believe it's going to be a Void Staff onto LeBlanc, then Trinity Force, Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and a Negatron Cloak on Ezreal. The Locket of the Iron Solari, Talisman of Ascension, and Mikhail's Crucible on Janna as well. They're really powerful at this point. They've got all the major things done. Renekton's so beefy. The red team just hanging around the corner, picking up a couple of advantages that they can right now. They have a lot of vision in that blue team's top half of the jungle, so they know that Gragas is there. They know that it's at worst a 4v4, as Janna is of course also not with them, but they can easily siege down on this tower. Ezreal doing a lot of damage to those, and Jarvan goes in with that Cataclysm. Nif going pretty low. Nice intervention onto Warwick, though. He's almost able to take someone out, but in the end, he does get LeBlanc. Caitlyn going down in return, though. Jarvan still getting picked off as well, and this is the blue team right now making things happen. Nice kill onto Janna there. The Explosive Ask is still available. Renekton trying to run away from Warwick. Nice slice and dice there, but the dominance has now run out, and the blue team is still chasing. There's the kill for Kayle, picking that one up for himself. 837 Gragas, 649 Kayle, 656 Caitlyn. The blue team is almost as powerful, and that was a Baron up red team. They just overcommitted it a little bit. Jarvan going very deep there, and it didn't pay off for them. The rest of his team was not quite on the same page, and Ezreal may still get himself caught. They know that he's here now. And Thresh is looking for that kill. Does not quite manage to flame, but the death sentence went the right way, was a little bit too short. Doesn't look like the blue team's able to pick up that middle inhib again, though, so they have to leave that one alive. Top tower could take a little bit damage. There's a big minion wave there, but there are no minions in the bottom lane, and it does look like the blue team just has to back off again. Not able to make anything happen, but at least they not only stopped the enemy's push, but they also got themselves a couple more kills, got themselves back a little bit off that gold. And of course, the closer we get to 6 items, the more insignificant a 1,500 gold lead becomes, and it's all about who makes the misplays, who gets caught when and where, who goes in without the rest of his team, as Jarvan just did, who walks the right ways and gets the right wards down. And it's all going to depend on these couple of next minutes. Ezreal, of course, has a Guardian Angel at this point, so he's going to be pretty hard to kill, while Caitlyn's still looking for that Infinity Edge before she finally is able to go for a defensive item as well. We have both Kayle and Gragas picking up that Void Staff, and Gragas with another needlessly large rod, finally trying to get that. I'd expect Azanya's Hourglass just to counter the burst, but here's the red team engaging once more. Thresh being a little bit too far out. Nice Cataclysm onto Gragas. The True Shot Barrage coming across as well. Nice flash out of Jarvan, getting himself to safety, and now Gragas has to manage to get out of this. He doesn't. He goes down, and that was the suppression from Warwick interrupted. Nicely done by the red team. They're going to get this kill as well. No! The Lantern actually gets them out to safety. That 90 caliber net slowing down LeBlanc for just a tiny second. But this right now is a 4v5 defense, and the red team is looking for blood. They were stopped the last time down in that bottom lane by an over-eager engage from Jarvan. And here's the death sentence onto Ezreal, but they just turn and pick up the kill onto Caitlyn. not even thwarted by that, and now 2 members from the blue team trying to defend this. Warwick is still not with them again. That tower went down. The flash and the death sentence onto Ezreal. They get the Guardian Angel. Nicely done by them. Are they also going to be able to pick up that kill? Warwick is back. Ezreal uses our Arcane Shift to get out of there, and Kayle does not manage to land her Q on anyone, so it does look like they're going to be safe for the time being. Warwick taking a ton of damage. They're trying to turn back onto Renekton. That death sentence is going to land, and that invulnerability took a lot of damage off of Warwick. It does turn around in the end. Ezreal picking up that kill. Can they get onto LeBlanc? No, there's Jarvan from the backside, and now instead the red team could turn it around again. They're trying to do it. They're not quite gonna go for it. And now Thresh going solo. That deceive. Oh no, deceive was Shaco. I'm sorry. That distortion from LeBlanc gonna get her out. So she's gonna be safe. And right now, both of these teams just hanging back for a second. It's a 3,500 gold for the red team. It's dead even in kills. 6-6 in towers as well. Really, it's a completely mirrored map. Both teams still have one inner tower up in that bottom lane. And of course they both miss their middle inhibitor tower. At this point it gets really tense. People have a lot of damage, a lot of bursts. Baron's back up in 1.5 minutes. It's all going to be about who can better prepare their waves up in that top and the bottom lane for that Baron, who doesn't get caught right before it, who gets a vision advantage in the next couple of minutes. Kayle was just spotted out moving down there to that bottom lane, and the rest of the red team is around. Didn't quite manage to go there unseen. They were hoping to pick off Caitlyn. In the end, it didn't quite work out. Dragon's up in 12 seconds. Don't think either team will want to give that up either. Red team is just up here for the blue team, and there is a ward in that bush. That's really nice because it gives the red team so much vision of what's going on. Red team finally picked up by Caitlyn. This could be the engage here. Warwick going in onto LeBlanc. That was a nice target, but the rest of the team wasn't quite there to do the follow-up. There's intervention onto Kayle, but it leaves other people exposed. Gragas going so very low. Kayle now getting taken out by LeBlanc. Caitlyn taken out in the backlines by Jarvan, Janna, and Ezreal. Now Warwick being chased down by Janna and Ezreal continuously, and Janna has so many slows, so much utility that he's not going to be able to escape that Hex Drinker burn very quickly. And that's Ezreal maybe picking up the kill now. It might be Janna. There's LeBlanc picking up the kill on Thresh in the base nonetheless, and that is the kill onto Warwick as well. Janna picking that one up. That's going to be in the inhibitor for the red team, and they could keep on pushing. Gragas is the only one alive, and they still have a very healthy Renekton and a very healthy Ezreal Janna. And Baron is back up in 8 seconds, and they could turn, but they could also try to end this game, and Ezreal and Janna are sticking around in the base, together with Renekton and Jarvan. They want to end this. LeBlanc is still in the backlines as well, but Gragas is up. But there goes Renekton with that flash stun. Gragas is forced back for the time being. The first Nexus tower goes down. The second one may fall in just a second. There it is. That's going to be the Nexus under attack. The red team picking up the win for themselves here. Nicely done. They almost threw it there for a bit. I was worried. They had a very huge advantage for a long time, and then kind of teetered on the edge for a tiny bit. And in the end, they came back strong, made the right play, stopped getting caught out, and came in strong for the one. 31 to 27 kills, 8-6 in towers, and almost 7,000 and 8,000 gold lead actually for them after 37 minutes and 45 seconds. GG, well played. Well done to both these teams. Anyway, that does it for me for tonight. Of course, I am a little sickish, as you might have heard, and it is late. I need to get to bed. But I will be back in the future, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, or follow me on Twitter. I will put the link in the description. And I hope you'll be back, because I'll be doing many more practice casts in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.